Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So before we get into this video, I do want people to understand that I'm specifically looking at all of this through the lens of a fan of Digimon video games. This video is not in response to anything regarding the anime or the webcomics or any of the other aspects of the franchise. So before you take out your pitchforks, I just want to make it clear from the start, I'm not going to be criticizing the entire con itself or saying that it was bad or disappointing, but I'm specifically going to be discussing what I feel like is an incredible lack of video game information this time around, even to the point where I put out a video a couple of days ago saying not to get your hopes up, but I was still kind of disappointed. In that video, I stated that Digimon is not primarily a video game franchise, so their main focus is not going to be the PC and console video games. However, I've also stated that there has been a huge upswing in interest in monster taming games. I've been saying this for years now that if Digimon were to really take the video game aspect of their franchise more seriously, they could see some serious growth in the franchise. And I think that the recent release of Palworld demonstrates this even further and shows that there's a hunger for more monster taming games, and who better to spearhead this type of movement than one of the most recognizable monster taming franchises of all time that has a long-standing history, tons of nostalgia, especially for Westerners, and a really cool and unique concept overall. Now, that being said, we've had 3 major Digimon cons at this point. I feel like they've slowly been getting kind of worse in the video games department. In 2022, we actually got a lot of information about the upcoming story game that is in the works, even if that information was not necessarily shown through gameplay. We were told about the game's setting, being in the digital world, the fact that the Olympus 12 were part of the game, and a lot of other information, and I will leave that video linked below if you want to learn about that. In the 2023 con, we sort of got a disappointing display, with it mostly focusing on Next Order, a game that was essentially just a port with an added easy mode and run option from a previous title, though a fun game nevertheless, but not really something you'd expect to take up the majority of the video game section, since again, it's a port of a 6-year-old game. But in 2024, we basically just got survey information, but not even like the good part of the survey. Now, I will leave another video linked below that goes over the survey and some of the crazy questions they were asking people, but essentially at this year's con, all they did was showcase the top 10 most popular Digimon from the Digimon games as voted from the community, showcased some comments from people in relation to Digimon Cyber Sleuth, Digimon World Next Order, and Digimon Survive, then went straight into the piano performance. I know I said in that previous video to keep your expectations down, but I really gotta say that my only real expectation was at the very least talk about which games were voted for in the survey and maybe make a statement about what they will be focusing on for the future of the franchise, but we didn't even get that. Now, I don't want to sound like an entitled fan. Usually when I hear people ranting about stuff like that, it always leaves a bad taste in my mouth because a lot of people will act really entitled and demand things. And while I don't want to sit here and say they must make games for us, I just can't help but feel like they're making a huge mistake by not taking the gaming market more seriously. I'm honestly not even sure why they decided to include an entire section about video games if they were just going to reminisce about older games that were already out rather than talk about something that's coming in the future, which would be a good thing for their shareholders and people that this event is more so about. You could say that the con is simply a celebration of the franchise, but if you're not going to show anything with regards to the future of the franchise, you can only celebrate the same things over and over again. Now, that being said, I always try to tread lightly while criticizing anything that the Digimon Con does, because I am truly happy that Digimon Con's a thing, and I think that it deserves way more attention, especially in the West, but realistically, a lot of us just really want more video games, and this Digimon story game has been in the works for years, but we haven't seen anything, and with the old director stepping down, there's been a ton of questions like, who's leading the game now? What exactly is the state of development, etc.? Now, I will give credit where credit's due. They at least acknowledged it. They essentially said, hey, the game's still in development, we're not ready, but expect news very soon. So if you guys want to be up to date as to when that news goes live, definitely subscribe to this channel because we put out new monster taming videos every single day, and I will keep you guys up to date. And I just wanted to quickly say special thanks to our supporters, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Tragsoft, Candy Marunci, and Nemo, and we'll see you next time. Peace.